just start off briefly with this, and I want to talk about transitioning, like how to transition when somebody dies and that you truly love or you truly care about. But I want to start with this. I know a lot of us on this live, right? We have dealt with, we are dealing with, and I don't want to say hopefully, maybe you might deal with in the future somebody leaving your life. And it hurts, right? Whether it's a friend, whether it's a significant other, whether it's a child of yours, whether it's whatever, they leave your life and it hurts. And you start to feel like, dang, I can't go on. You start to feel like, dang, my life is nothing without this person, without this thing. I want to just tell you this, man. When it comes to moving on with your life, when somebody leaves your life, and I'm not talking about death right now, but when somebody walks out of your life, the first thing that you have to do is you have to show yourself that you can live and survive without that person in your life. Because if you don't, you will continue to feel helpless. You will continue to be controlled by a person that's no longer a part of your life. You will be controlled by something that's no longer a part of your life. Some of you have lost a sport. You have lost a dream like myself, and you can't move on from it. And you're like, man, what do I do in my life? Because you tied your everything to that. You tied your identity to that. So you have to show yourself that without that, I can still survive. Without that, I can still live life. And over time, as you continue to practice self-love, over time, as you can continue to build your self-esteem, you start to show yourself that, wait a minute, I actually can live and thrive without this thing in my life. And so whether it's a sport like myself, whether it's a person that walks out of your life, just because something or someone leaves your life doesn't mean your life is over. It could mean that that thing is over. Sometimes it takes painful endings to create new, beautiful beginnings. But you have to make it a choice. And you got to say, you know what, no matter how hard it may be, no matter how much this hurts and it's painful, I'm going to continue to move on with my life. So I wanted to share that just briefly because I know a lot of you are dealing with that. I wish I could go in deeper, but we don't have time tonight. I've made videos about that in the past on how to move on effectively, whether you have lost someone or something in your life. Now to transition. I know a lot of you have dealt with or dealing with somebody dying in your life that you love. Obviously, you guys know I've dealt with that this year. I've dealt with that in past years. I dealt with a best friend committing suicide. But this year has been really tough. And I know a lot of us on this live right now, man, when you lose somebody you love, it's like a piece of your soul leaves. It's like a piece of your life leaves. And you feel like at times you can't go on. You feel regret in your life. When somebody dies, the first thing that we do is we feel regret. We always think, man, I wish I could have did this. I wish I would have did that. And I want to tell you this, man. Grief is not something that you get over. Death is not something that you get over. It's something that you learn to live with. One of my good friends told me this and it changed my life. And I want to tell you, she said, Trent, your life will never be the same. And I had to hear that because it made me realize, like, man, if I'm going to continue to move on with my life, I have to realize that no matter how bad I want them back, they're not coming back, right? No matter how much I want to turn back the hands of time, I can't turn back the hands of time. No matter how much I want to redo things, I can't redo things. And a lot of us, what we do is we stay stuck in the past that we can't change. And we stay stuck in that regret. And we start to feel paralyzed and we start to feel more regret. We start to feel more guilty. We start to feel more sad. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, because someone that passed away is your heart. And a lot of people don't understand it at times. A lot of people try to put a timeline on your healing. They try to tell you, it'll be okay. You will get over it. And your pain is your pain. And so I just want to tell anybody out there watching this live right now, I feel for you. But I do want to tell you that your life isn't over. I do want to tell you that there's more to your life. I do want to tell you that you can turn that grief into greatness. And if it's somebody that's special that died in your life, you're obligated to. And I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But grief is like an ocean, right? It comes in waves. And, I have my days, like early this morning, man, it hit me strong. I have my days where I can talk about people who have died in my life and I can smile about it because I rejoice and celebrate their name. Then I have days where I'm just sad. But grief is like that ocean. It comes and goes. And sometimes those waves, right? Those waves are strong. Sometimes those waves are not as strong. Sometimes those waves are at ease or at calm. But I realize at the end of the day, grief is like that ocean. And it's like sometimes you feel all alone in your grief, right? You feel like, man, where does this end? When does this thing get better? And you're waiting. And this is something I've known about life. And this is kind of a side note while it's on my heart, because I know a lot of you right now, you're waiting for better to show up. And this week, we're going to talk about how to make the most out of this year and next year. But you're waiting for better to show up. You're waiting for your healing to show up. You're waiting for that peace to show up. And you're waiting for better to show up. And I realize better doesn't show up until you create the better in your life. Better is a choice. Better is a decision. Better is deciding that I'm going to create the better right now. Even in my pain, even in my what seems like brokenness, I'm going to create the better right now in my life. And so I want to tell you this, man, like what's helped me, because in grief, you have a choice. You can either sink or you can swim. And trust me, I know it's hard to swim. I know you might be sinking in regret. You might be sinking in sadness. You might be sinking in all these things that are flooding your mind. And I know how hard it is. But I want to tell everybody on this live right now, you got the choice to swim. And you got to swim. You might say, Trent, well, what do I swim with? And so this year has taught me. So I want to talk about 4 things that's really helped me swim, even in the strongest tides, the strongest waves, when it just kept hitting me and hitting me. How do I keep swimming with my life? I want to talk about 4 things that really help me swim, and maybe this will help you. And again, it doesn't mean that it's going to get easier, but what it does mean is that you're going to get stronger. The first thing that helped me learn how to swim was perspective. And y'all hear me talk about this a lot. And perspective is something that's always in your control. And my perspective at first was, man, like I lost my mom. I'm never going to be able to talk to her again. I'm never going to be able to just pick up the phone and text her randomly. I'm never going to be able to take her out to eat. I'm never going to be able to do none of that. She's never going to be able to hear me speak. She's never going to see my kids graduate. She's never, all these things, right? And I stayed there. And even though those things are true, how are those things serving my life? And grief was was programming me to think like that. And so I was just thinking about the loss. I was thinking about the lack. I was thinking about so much that I didn't even see the beauty in my mother's life. I wasn't able to celebrate because I was mourning, and we're going to go through seasons of mourning for people. So I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't mourn, because we're going to mourn. I still mourn at times. But what I realized was my perspective. I had a choice, and I still have a choice. And I'm very, 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 very intentional with my perspective. Because just as easy I can say, man, I just got 36 years with my mom. That's not fair. I know people that got 50 years with their parents, 40 years with their parents, 55 years with their parents. That's not fair. Just as well as I can say that, I can say, man, at least I got 36 years with my mother. There's people out there that didn't even get a year with their mom. Their mom isn't even in their life. They don't even know their mother. At least I got 36 years with my mom. At least I got to play football with one of my best friends. At least I got 36 years with my grandmother, 20-something with my grandfather, 20-something, right? And so I realized that my perspective is everything. If I want to turn my grief into greatness, and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that in a minute. If I want to turn my grief into greatness, I got to look at it like that. I got to look at ways that I can celebrate her life, that I can celebrate their life, that I can celebrate his life. If I want to be able to remove myself from just the pain and move into more power in my life. Because the truth is, man, and this might seem like very harsh to say, but life goes on. The time ain't ticking for nobody. My bills were still coming in. The time was still ticking. The calendar was still moving. The sun was still rising. The moon was still shining. Days were still going. The calendar was still flipping. Didn't nothing stop. Things kept going. And so I realized that my perspective has to be my power in this situation. I got to be able to look out and see everything that I can celebrate those that I lost with. Number two, the second thing that really helped me when it came to grief is community. Don't suffer in silence. I know a lot of you might be thinking, man, nobody understands, nobody cares. Some people might not care, right? Nobody's gonna be there for you. Don't suffer in silence. One of the best things that helped me in this season was finding community. And sometimes that community was 1 or 2 people. It wasn't 30, it wasn't 20. But I found someone in my life, a few people that have been through what I went, that had went through what I was currently going through at that time. So I called them. I let them know how I feel, what I was struggling with. Because one of the best ways to keep yourself in the prison of pain is to keep your suffering silence. Is to keep your battle silent. And some of us, we've been dealing with this alone. And you haven't reached out to nobody because maybe you don't want to bother them. Maybe you're, afraid to reach out, or maybe you don't want people to know how you feel, right? Whatever it may be for you. But you got to find community. You got to find someone or some people or a group or a church group, or like I said, one person. You got to find someone to be able to express yourself with. Because anything you suppress will turn into depression. So me, therapy. With me, friends. How you doing, Trent? I'm not doing good. In my grief, I understood that it was okay to not be okay. It was okay to be real about where I was at. Because oftentimes when people ask us how we doing, we just say, oh, we good. We're fine. And we're lying. So I got to a point in my life this year where I tell people, I'm not good. I'm struggling. It hurts. I'm depressed. I need help. I need help is some of the most powerful words in your life. It's okay to need help. If you lost somebody you loved, right? Somebody you love, a mother, a father, a friend, a cousin, coworker. There's been thousands of deaths from COVID, everything. I see it all the time in my inbox. You probably can look on the live right now. If you lost somebody, you're going to go through trauma. You're going to go through hurt. You're not supposed to be okay. I know people tell you to stay strong, especially men in here. To my men, we are battling depression more than anybody else because we have this code that we got to be strong for everybody. And I know how you feel. I'm the head of my household. So if my household sees me breaking down, then dang, who they got to lean on? But you know what? I had conversations with my kids. I had conversations with my wife. I had conversations with my family and said, hey, Dad is going through it right now. Dad lost Mom. But I'm going to tell you something. You're going to see Dad continue to push through. Because I want to let you know it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay to not be okay at times. So I want to tell you right now, man, don't suffer in silence with this. Get the help you need. Ask for help. If it's just somebody that you need to talk to, right? They ain't got to even say a word. You can say, hey, I don't even need no advice from you. Can you just listen? I just need an outlet. Some of us, that's what we need because we are keeping everything in and we're not putting anything out and we're suffering. The third thing that helped me, and if you feel any value of this, if you feel like, man, Trent, I haven't lost nobody, man, share this with somebody who might need it. Because I know a lot of people right now are going through it, 1,000%. The third thing that helped me was my environment. Helped me turn my grief into greatness was my environment. I like to call it developing your sanctuary for your healing.
I can't do that because communications is
What? Siri's over there talking.
You can enable it under device settings in the Alexa app.
Your sanctuary for your healing. Whatever that may be, for me, it's nature. I believe nature heals. I go out there in nature. I'm able to cry. I'm able to talk. I feel more connected to the people that I lost in my life. I'm able to talk to God. But what's your environment? Because some of us, I talked about this Saturday, we don't have a disconnection. We're always connected to our job. We're connected to going and going and going. We just try to stay busy not to deal with it. And what you don't deal with will eventually deal with you. So you got to create your environment for your healing. What is that for you? Maybe the environment is a walk around the block. Maybe it's a walk at night. I call them conversations with God. A walk in the morning, conversations with God. Just to give you time to reflect. Give you time to disconnect from all the energy around you, all the people around you. Create your environment for your healing. I was about to say the place that I go to in Fort Worth, but the trails for me brought so much healing to my life because it was a place where I could be vulnerable. It was a place where I felt connected. It was a place where I felt like I wasn't going to be bothered or judged. It was a place where I can put out every emotion, every emotional release. I can do that. But a lot of us, I'm going to just be real, and I say this a lot to y'all, but a lot of us, we just want things to just disappear without putting in any effort towards it. We want just healing to take place without putting ourselves around environments of healing. We want healing to take place without actually confronting the reality of our pain. And so you have to have these things in your life that really help you. Last but not least, I had to swim with faith. It's my fourth thing. And this was the most important thing. It was scriptures that carried me through. It was books that carried me through. It was quotes that carried me through and still carry me through to this day. You got to have those reminders that you see, those reminders that let you know hard times don't last forever, those reminders that let you know things will get better, those reminders that let you know that this is the beauty of life. You know, when we think about this, when we think about death, and I think we're so afraid to die because none of us have done it. It's the unfamiliar. But death is not the end. Death is the beginning. And so for me, with my perspective with my mother, I realized, like, wait a minute, I've been praying for healing. I've been praying for her to be free. But selfishly, I'm thinking that the healing means that she stays here, that the freedom means that she's here. No, now my mom is healed forever. This is perspective. Now she's free. Now she's free. Even though I want to talk to her physically, even though I want her to be here, even though I want her to come over and see my house that she never got to see, the things that I've done this year that she never got to see. But I know she sees it. I know she's still with me because I can feel her spiritually more than ever. And so you watching this right now, when you're going through your seasons of grief that come and that they go, understand that death is a part of life. Death is the beginning of life. I truly believe that. We are all just spirits, y'all. This is just our temple. This is just our temple. Some of us beat us. My grandmother told me this, man. Oh, it just came to my heart. My grandmother told me this. I talked to my grandmother the week before 5 days before she died. She was actually helping me with my mother's death. Literally, my grandmother. She was telling me, and she said, Trent, you know what, baby? And oh, man. She said, your mom just beat us going to where we all got to go. And those words, man, has stuck with me forever. The person that you lost, that it doesn't seem fair, maybe it's not fair, it might be a kid, it just beat us going to where we all got to go. So I want you to hold on to this. I saw this quote the other day. It's not a quote, but somebody said, there's no end, right? And that meant energy never dies. There's no end. And I truly believe that, man. We never die. We might die here, but we have to die in order to live, in order to be reborn again, in order to, what's up, y'all? Thanks for the stars. And so these things, man, have really helped me. You know, I mean, just to kind of add to this a little bit, and I'm all over the place, y'all, because I'm trying to give y'all as much value as I can. But also, for me, with regret, this is just some tactical things that's helped me, and I do it to this day. Every time I think about, I wish I would have. Because regret is poison to your soul. And some of us, unfortunately, we live in a regret that we can't change. How do you turn your regret into rejoice? You have to. If you want to turn your grief into greatness, you got to turn your regret into rejoice. So every time I think about, dang, I wish I would have. Dang, I should have picked up that phone call. Dang, I didn't answer that text. Dang, I shouldn't have yelled at her. Dang, I shouldn't have did this. Every time of that, because I'm going to tell you something. For you guys that are feeling guilty, there is no amount of perfection you could have provided that would have made you feel like you've done enough. I'm going to tell you that right now. You can always find a reason on why you should regret something, even if you gave perfection to it. So to turn your regret into your rejoice, simply do this. Every time you think about, man, I wish I would have, say, man, I'm glad I got to. Just like I told you with perspective. Every time you say, man, I wish I would have, say, I'm glad I got to. Man, I wish I would have picked up that phone. Man, I'm glad I got to talk to them 100 times before that. Man, I wish I would have took them out to dinner. Man, I'm glad for the dinners that I did have with them. Man, I wish I would have said I loved them one more time. Man, I'm glad I got to say I loved them so many times. That's how you turn your regret into rejoice. Also, for a lot of us, right, we think that we lost. You think that you lost. Man, I lost my mom. I lost this. I lost that. And I said that word just for the sake of us understanding today's live. But I want you to reframe your mindset around that. I want you to change your language. You didn't lose anything. You gained. You didn't lose a person. You gained an angel. You didn't lose your son or your daughter, your mom or your dad, your auntie or your uncle or your grandma or your grandpa. You didn't lose. You gained. Yes, I might have lost my mother physically, but I gained her spiritually. Yeah, I might have lost certain things with my mother on this earth, but you know what? My mother's presence is with me more than ever. I gained that. Because they say loss is gain. So what did you gain in the process? What did you gain from this? Maybe you gained a protection, a hedge of protection that's now watching you more than ever. What did you gain? Because if you always think about you lost, your mind is going to think about lack. Your mind is going to think about lack. You didn't lose. You gained. In order to turn your grief into your greatness, I want y'all to hear me this. If you heard nothing from this live tonight, what's up, baby?
I like you.
Okay. If you heard nothing from this live tonight, I want you to hear this, okay? Don't leave. Hear this. Because this is one of the best ways to turn your grief into greatness. I want you to think about this for a second. And this is the biggest game changer for me in my season, y'all. Like, every person that I've gained as an angel, I think about this with them. No matter, it could have been my best friend that committed suicide. It could have been all my grandparents. It could have been my friends in high school. It could have been my mom. It could have been people that I know. I always think about this, and it's a game changer, man. And this helps my life so much. I want you to think about this in your life right now. And I know this might be hard to picture, and I don't want to put any fear in your heart. I just want to put reality on your mind, right? None of us are going to be here forever. None of us are. We can leave some here that lives forever, but physically, we all got to check out at some point. I want you to ask yourself this question. When you pass away, do you want to be the reason why somebody else becomes depressed? Just think about that for a moment. When you pass away, do you want to be the reason why somebody else gives up on life? When you pass away, and answer in the chat, I want to see these answers. When you pass away, do you want to be the reason why somebody dies in depression, quits on their life, all of those things? Ask yourself that question. Good night, baby. I'll be there in a minute. Okay. Talk about honey. Do you want to be the reason? Just think about that for a moment, y'all. Just think about it. Just sit with that for a moment, please. Take 20 seconds and sit with that for a moment. I'm in the chat. Hey, Lucy, and guys, it's going to hurt, man. It's not, I hurt every single day. I wake up, it's going to hurt. You got that void that's gone, it's going to hurt. But think about that for a second. Colleen said, absolutely not. Right? Miriam said, no. Okay. Right? None of us want to be that reason. So when you think about your loved ones that transition, do you think that they want to be the reason why you quit? Do you think they live their life just so they can be the reason why you give up on life? Do you think this is how we turn this grief into greatness, y'all? Do you think that they would want, when they died, that you died with them? And I'm not talking about a physical death. I'm talking about a spiritual and emotional death. Do you think they would want that? And so when I sat back during these earlier months this year, when I felt like I couldn't go on, when I felt paralyzed by grief, I felt paralyzed by hurt, I felt paralyzed by regret, and not many people understood it. When I felt like I couldn't go on, I thought about that. I said, will my mother want to be the reason why I stopped doing rehab time when she loved rehab time? Will my mother want to be the reason that I stopped writing books when she had all my books in her house? That I stopped putting out merchandise and she wore all my merchandise? Would she want to be the reason? And I said, hell no, she wouldn't want to be the reason. My mom would want to be the reason that I go harder. Yeah, she didn't, oh man. I'm about to turn up, y'all. Try not to yell in here, man, but I can't contain it, man. She would want to be the reason that I went harder, right? She would want to be the reason that I got the most out of my life. She would want to be the reason that I loved harder with those that are still here. Because you got to understand this truth. Those same people that have transitioned in your life, they don't want to be the reason for your depression. They don't want to be the reason for your stress. They don't want to be the reason for you quitting. They want to be the reason why you get more out your life. Because now you see that life isn't promised. Now you see that forever comes with an expiration date. They want to be the reason to have you turned up a notch. They want to be the reason why you love harder, why you appreciate more, why you spend more time on the things that matter, why you get the most out of your life, those dreams in your life. That's what they would want to be. Because you got to realize this truth. Everybody in here, how you turn your grief into your greatness is simply that. Those people, especially mothers, fathers, and grandparents that came before you and they're no longer here, I want you to tell you, those people ran their race of life. And every single one of us on this live right now, you're in the middle of your race of life. Some of us, we at the beginning, some of us at the middle, some of us are at the end. Let's be real. 150,000 people die every day. None of us know where we're at. We just got to run. But some of us, we stop running. We stop running because somebody in our life has transitioned. And what they did after they ran their race of their life, they finished their race. And all our races are different. Some of us got a 100-meter. Some of us got a 400-meter life. Some of us got a marathon life. Some of us got an ultra-marathon life. We don't know what God has for us. None of us know the time, the hour, or the date in our life. But the truth of the matter is, every single one of you on this live, and this is me talking to myself right now, every single one of you on this live, the baton is in your hands. That person has now gave the baton to you. Your grandmother, your grandfather, they sacrificed. They ran their race. Now the baton is in your hand. right? Maybe it's even your kids that you lost. And I know, I can only imagine. Trust me, I went through moments of even feeling that. I know how hard that is. But the baton is in your hands. And as long as the baton is in your hands, you have breath in your body, you got a heartbeat that's heartbeating, that's even a word, you got to run your race. You got to run your race. You can't quit on your race. You can't stop running your race because somebody has already got their medal. Be proud. They've got their medal. Be proud. They're on their podium of life. Be proud. They have got their congratulations. Be proud. They have passed their finish line. But you still in this race of life. You still have that baton in your hands. So my question to everybody on this live right now, every single one of you, including the person y'all looking at, me, it's what you gonna do with it. And as you run in this race, you're gonna get injured with grief at times. You're gonna get injured with memory at times. You're gonna get all these things. It's not gonna be easy. But you will become stronger, and the strength has been given to you. I think about my mother, and I think about all the things she's given to me. What y'all see and love about me is just things that her and my father have given to me. You're just seeing a reflection of them. So she stays alive through me. She stays alive through me. I want each and every one of you tonight, I want you to find one or two qualities about the person that's no longer here. And I want you to take those one or two qualities, and I want you to give those one or two qualities life. Because if you want to keep them alive through you, you have to take the things that they stood for, they believed in, and you have to take those things and continue to bring those things to this world. Continue to give those things life. There's things that I know about my mother that when she left, I said, I'm going to keep those things alive. Because that's how I keep her legacy alive. And she lives on through me. When my best friend committed suicide, rehab time wouldn't have started if it wasn't for that. So every time I press live, he's alive. My grandmother, grandparents, grandmothers, grandfathers, uncles, and aunts, they're alive. Because I take qualities from each and every one of them and they breathe through me. Just because they're not here physically doesn't mean that they can't stay alive spiritually and emotionally. And as long as I got time on my clock, everybody that was around me, everybody who's ever poured into my life that's no longer here, they're going to be alive through me. And that's facts. Because I hope when I leave this earth, I stay alive through other people. So I want you to find some things that you can honor them with. Because how you live your life, And I know it's hard sometimes, man. I know it ain't easy as I'm saying. I know it's easier said than done, but how you live your life. How you live your life is how you honor them. Don't turn into addictions. Don't turn to depression. Don't turn to giving up on yourself. Because how you live your life is how you honor them. They wouldn't be the reason. They wouldn't want to be the reason why you quit. They would want to be the reason why you kept going. Because they love you. Because they love you. They haven't went nowhere. They're still with you. They're still smiling down on you, smiling with you. They're a part of you. Because of what they imparted in you. They'll always be a part of you. It's not about what they left for you. It's about what they left in you. A lot of times when I'm going through my moments, I try to search for things that my mom left. Search for text messages. Search for little things around the house. And those things are beautiful. Then I realized, it's not about what she left for me physically. It's about in her 67, 8 years of life. It's about what she left inside of me. And that rings true for you, my friend. That rings true for you. It's not going to be easy, but you got a race to run. And you go run that race well. And you run in the honor of whoever has transitioned. And you go harder for it. I know y'all see me more than ever going harder. You saw me for a period disappear and disconnect. But now more than ever, I go harder. Because this is bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I understand more than ever that life isn't promised. I understand what truly matters more than ever. I understand that I'm not going to be here for forever. I understand that. I understood that there were some things that my mom wanted to do that she never got to do. She didn't get to do. I understand that. I understand that, you know, we get one shot at this. I understand. And maybe this is just, you know, some small temporary thing I believe that we go through to experience real life. While I'm here, I'm going to get the most out of it. And I ain't going to wait till no damn 2022 to do it. I've already started. What about you? What about you? It's time for you to move your grief into your greatness. Right? The grief never ends, but trust me, it don't have to be the thing that's powering your life anymore. It's time for you to turn that grief into your greatness, because the people that came before you that's no longer here, or the people that's no longer here in your life that's still in your heart, you owe it to them. You owe it to them. Like I always tell you, it all starts with you. And I know the pain is intense. I know it. I'm not undermining any of that tonight. But you got to keep them alive through you. You can do it. I know you can. I don't want you to die with them. It's not what the plan was. God's plan is God's plan. Sometimes I don't even understand it. But I know I'm still here for a reason. I know I can't die with the people who died. I got some more work. As long as I got breath in my body, I got some more work. As long as I got ideas in my mind, I got some more work. I'm going to run this damn race. I don't know who's with me, but let's run it. Let's run it. And let that fuel the passion for your life. You see people who go hard for cancer awareness because they lost somebody to cancer. You see somebody that has been murdered, right? They go hard for initiatives in the neighborhoods. They go hard. That's the way they honor them. They go hard for it. See somebody to suicide, they go hard for mental health. That's why I go hard for self-worth. That's why I go hard for it. This ain't no game to me. This ain't no influencer, social media crap to me where I'm just coming on here because I like people liking my posts. Nah, I go hard for this. You know why? You know why I go hard for this? Because I lost some people to suicide. That's why I go hard for it. You know why I go hard? To let you know that you're enough, even when you're going through the worst? Because I refuse, man. I refuse to allow people to take their life because of what they lost. It's different for me. It's different for me. That's why I come here with so much conviction, even though I'm trying to contain it because my kids are asleep, but it's hard for me to contain it because it's different for me. Ain't about being liked. Ain't about having millions of followers. When there was nobody on these lives and following me, I was still going hard because it was different for me. And it is different for me. Fighting for something bigger, man. And that's because I got to keep my homie alive forever. That's because I got to keep my mother alive forever. My grandma's forever. My friends forever. Forever they'll be alive through me. I might not always say their name. I might not always say this or that, but better believe, man, the reason I do what I do, it's not just for me. It's way bigger than me. I appreciate y'all, man. I really, really do. I appreciate y'all so much. And today's a tough one. I've been avoiding this conversation with y'all because I know so many people are like, man, but you don't understand, it's so hard. I don't understand your pain, but I do understand the pain. And you're right, it is. But we still here, man. So it's like, do we just sit here and just accept that life is over because other people around us' lives are over? And we just live with this hurt and this pain and this regret for the suffering for the rest of our life? Because some of y'all that got kids, I looked in my kids' eyes, and I said, man, I refuse not to run this race as hard as I can to give y'all the lead on life. Because my mother and my grandmothers and my grandfathers gave me the lead on life. My father's still running his race, gave me the lead on life. I didn't have to spend my whole life recovering from my childhood because I had great parents. I said, I refuse, man. I refuse not to give y'all the lead on life. I'm going to further this last name. I'm going to further this generation. I'm going to further it. It ain't because I'm special. It ain't because I got a platform. It's because I made up my damn mind on what I want to do with my life. I will live as a hero and I will die as a legend. I will live as a hero and I will die as a legend. Not a legend to the world, but a legendary to my world. Not a hero to the world, but a hero to my world. See this world right here? This reminder of me about my world. Y'all don't know that when I wear this hat. When I saw this hat, the reflection of me is my world. That's my interpretation of it, my world. It's time for you to live as a hero to your world and die as a legend to your world. Change the narrative, change the trajectory. Change the association with your last name. If the association isn't what you want it to be. Run your race. And you run it well, man. Like I tell you at the end of every single video, it all starts with you. Some of y'all might not have needed this tonight. Obviously, a lot of you have needed it. But if you know somebody who needs it, send them this. Because I think it really helps. Help me. Thank Colleen. Thanks, Linda. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, pray harder, go harder, man. Oh, man. Y'all lucky I'm in my house right now because we would have turned all the way up tonight. I'm just telling y'all, man. I'm feeling this energy so heavy right now, man. I'm feeling it so heavy right now. It's not the end. Energy never dies, man. It's not the end. It's not the end. Just the beginning. It's just the beginning of something more greater and something more special. I got to say this because a lot of y'all ask about it, okay? As we transition off this live, I'm going to Instagram, okay, right after this. So all 2,700 of you, go to my Instagram, at Trent Shelton, okay? Right after this, we're going right to Instagram, and we're going to continue another conversation. Like the passionate, like, get the most out of your life conversation, we're going to continue that conversation because that's burning in my heart right now. I just want to make this live 3 hours long. But I want to tell you this, all 2,700 of you, if you want this, a lot of you ask about the merch. Like I said, my mom loved my merch, so I'm going hard for my merch, right? I don't care who like it or not. I'm going hard for everything she loved. I'm going hard for it. Protect your peace. A lot of y'all are seeing this asking about it. Obviously, those are 3 words that I live by, 3 words that changed my life. The back is super dope. I can't turn around and show y'all the back. Actually, I think I can. Let me see. It's kind of weird. The back is super dope. But how we're releasing these shirts. Thanks for the stars, y'all. I'm going to do a star shout out for like 30 seconds at the end. So save your stars so I can shout y'all out. How we're releasing merch, okay? It helps me keep my sanity. Having inventory, all that stuff, it's too much, right? And you guys keep asking for it. I wasn't going to even do it, but I got to go hard. So we're going to do our exclusive merch, just to be honest with you. It will be for a limited time. It won't be a big window. It will be literally probably for 30 minutes to a day. I'm going to give y'all a week in advance notice, but you have to text VIP to 817. I'm going to write it here. Don't text Hey Trent VIP because it's not going to put you in the group. Text just VIP. Some of y'all be writing sentences in VIP. All right, VIP to 817-242-2719. Okay? What that does is, all right, don't text it if you don't want merch, all right? Or you don't like this sweatshirt or whatever like that. What that does is it puts you in an exclusive group that you're gonna have first access to, okay? Before I release it to the world, you have first access to it, and it'll probably sell out with the VIP group, okay? We're gonna do a release next Saturday or next Friday, I believe. So make sure you text VIP to that number down here, 817-242-2719. Again, this merch, once it's gone, it's gone. It won't be released to the public. I won't be on Instagram showing it. It will just be to my text community. VIP people get access first. If there's anything left, the rest of the community gets access, all right? We about to go to Instagram, man. I hope you guys had a beautiful night. I hope this spoke to your heart. Oh, my bad. Let's do star shout outs for the 30 seconds, okay? If you want to give stars, I'm shouting you out. Deborah, thank you. Last 30 seconds. Deborah, thank you. I appreciate you. Star shout out. Thank you, Jennifer, just for the love. Jackie, what up? Thanks for the stars. I appreciate you. Nah, Deanna said, I text your numbers, it landed me on scam page. Nah, Deanna, you didn't text my number. Don't fall for fake profiles. 817 ain't gonna land you to no scam page. I always come back to Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Facebook now. So yeah, thank you, Valerie, for the stars. I appreciate it. About 30 more seconds for stars, guys. And I gotta get off here. We're going to Instagram. All right. Let's see who we got. Just use the words VIP. Katrina, thanks for the stars. Keisha, thanks for the stars. Dang, stars. Audrey, thanks for the stars. Oh, Megan sent 1,000 stars. Thank you, Megan, so much. Dana, thank you for the stars. Thanks, Justice, for the stars. I appreciate you being a star sender. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. I appreciate y'all. Lavonna, thanks for the stars. Sharon, thanks for the stars again. Just text VIP. That's it. Don't say, hey, Trent. VIP to that number. Okay, and they'll put you in the group. Thanks. Thank you, thank you. Instagram right now. Let's get it, y'all. I appreciate it. I'm praying for, actually, my bad. Let's end with prayer. Dear God, thank you for bringing us here tonight. I pray that tonight's message didn't fall on deaf ears, and it helped. Lord, I pray that they felt peace, they felt calm, they felt understanding. I hope that they know that, maybe it doesn't get easier. Maybe they don't understand, never get understanding why. Maybe they never get closure, but the closure that they need is through you. Just understanding that they have more life to live and that you have a higher purpose and a higher calling for their life. Please give them the strength, give them the courage, give them the resilience to be able to push through their hardest times in life. Give them the community that they need, the sanctuary that they need, and the perspective that their mind needs. We love you. Amen. Amen, y'all. Let's go. Instagram, @Trent Shelton. Let's go. Let's go.